Do you often eat food from a box, bag, or package? Is it hard to know what's in the food just by looking at it? If yes, you might be eating ultra-processed foods. These foods are a big part of many people's diets, making up more than half of what most Americans eat. Here's a look at how ultra-processed foods might affect your gut and health. The term processed food is very broad and refers to any food that has been changed in some way during preparation. This could be as simple as freezing green peas or as complex as adding preservatives and additives to sliced bread to make it last longer on the shelf. So, how can we tell the difference between these types of foods? Processed foods are commonly classified using the NOVA system, which divides them into 4 categories based on the extent of processing they undergo. The first group includes unprocessed or minimally processed foods, which are natural foods that undergo little to no alteration, such as fresh fruits, vegetables, and grains. The second group, processed culinary ingredients, refers to substances like oils, sugar, and salt, which are extracted or refined from natural sources and used in cooking. The third group consists of processed foods, which are made by adding ingredients like salt or preservatives to natural foods, such as canned vegetables or cheese. Finally, the fourth group, ultra-processed foods, includes foods that are heavily processed with the addition of artificial ingredients, flavorings, and preservatives, such as sugary snacks, fast food, and packaged meals. These ultra-processed foods often have little nutritional value and are associated with health risks when consumed in large quantities. However, a recent statement from the Scientific Advisory Committee on Nutrition in the UK acknowledges that while the NOVA classification system is the best option available, it does have some limitations. For example, grains like rice need to be cooked to make them digestible, and milk must be pasteurized to remove harmful bacteria. So, while it may make for a more dramatic headline, we shouldn't lump all processed foods together. Instead, we should focus on the overall quality and balance of our diets rather than completely avoiding processed foods. Gut health has become a popular topic in the media in recent years, and for good reason. The tiny microbes living in our gut may seem small, but they play a huge role in our overall health. These microbes help produce essential hormones and vitamins, and they are key to our immune system, mental health, and brain function. What we eat greatly affects the makeup of our gut microbiome. To keep our gut healthy, it's important to eat a variety of foods, especially those high in fiber, like beans, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. A diverse diet supports a diverse microbiome, and the more variety of microbes we have, the stronger and more resilient our gut will be. If you finding this information useful, please hit the like, subscribe, and turn all notifications on to stay updated with my latest health and nutrition tips. It's clear that a diet heavy in highly processed foods isn't ideal for our gut health or overall well-being. Many ultra-processed foods are high in sugar, fat, salt, and artificial additives, which, when consumed in excess, can negatively affect gut health. For example, one study that looked at people aged 55-75 found that eating ultra-processed foods was linked to certain microbes associated with inflammatory gut diseases. However, while it might seem like cutting out processed foods is the best way to protect your gut, the research is still in its early stages, and making broad conclusions at this point might be too soon. Many of the studies have limitations. Most use the NOVA classification system for processed foods, which has its own flaws. Plus, much of the research is observational and relies on people self-reporting their food choices, which is often inaccurate. Other limitations include a lack of diversity in study groups, varying reporting methods, and failure to account for confounding factors like smoking and financial status. For example, tinned or frozen fruits and vegetables might be your best option if you live in a food desert, if fresh ones spoil quickly, or if they're more affordable. These tinned and frozen options are just as nutritious as fresh ones, and sometimes even more so, as the freezing or canning process can help preserve certain nutrients. Similarly, Fish fingers, an ultra-processed food, might be the easiest way to get your children to eat fish. Baked beans are another example of an ultra-processed food because they contain modified corn flour, which helps thicken the sauce. Despite their higher sugar and salt content in some versions, they are still a good source of fiber and can contribute to one of your 5-a-day servings of vegetables with just 3 heaped tablespoons. The key is finding balance. Instead of avoiding entire food categories because of alarming headlines, try a more balanced approach. Incorporate these foods alongside options that are good for gut health. For example, pair a frozen ready meal with plenty of vegetables, or enjoy a handful of nuts with a chocolate bar. Americans eat so many ultra-processed foods because they are convenient, affordable, and often taste great. Food companies have perfected the flavor of these products to hit the bliss point, the perfect level of sweetness or saltiness, to keep people coming back for more. For busy individuals, ultra-processed foods are easy to grab and don't require preparation. On the other hand, unprocessed foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins take time to prepare. These foods are also loaded with flavorings and additives that make them even more tempting, making it hard to stop eating once you start. Ultra-processed foods are designed to satisfy cravings and override the natural signals in your brain that tell you when you're full. Removing ultra-processed foods from your diet can lead to numerous health benefits, despite their temporary ability to fill you up. By cutting these foods out, you may experience improved concentration and focus, as your body will no longer be burdened by artificial additives and refined ingredients. You could also see reduced inflammation, which is linked to a variety of chronic conditions. Many people report feeling in a better mood, experiencing less irritability, and enjoying more restful sleep. Healthier skin is another potential benefit, as the reduction of processed foods can decrease breakouts and promote a more radiant complexion. Additionally, eliminating ultra-processed foods may lead to increased energy levels, better gut health, and even potential weight loss, as you shift to whole, nutrient-dense foods that nourish your body. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how processed foods impact your gut and overall health. Remember, taking care of your intestines is key to feeling your best, and making simple dietary changes can lead to big improvements. Feel free to leave a comment below with any questions or thoughts you may have, and I'll be sure to respond. Stay healthy, and see you in the next video.